Hey, what's going on, you guys? So Bitcoin finally having a pullback that I was waiting for. Now I'm not too sure if Bitcoin is just pulling back a little bit, or if this is a beginning of a larger pullback to 33,000, 35,000 maybe. Now, honestly, guys, I have been waiting for this pullback all day. Bitcoin setting a new high at over $40,000 did serve as a pretty significant catalyst for RIOT and MARA's price action. MARA up almost 32% on the day. Okay, that is insane, guys. Now, that's not to say that MARA's price is justified. Okay, in fact, I do believe that, and a lot of people even asked me in yesterday's comments, is this price justified? Or is this just FOMO? Okay, and it is just FOMO. It's a lot of hype, it's a lot of FOMO, it's a lot of greed going on in the market. And when Bitcoin does eventually have this pullback, like how we're seeing right now, and Bitcoin opens about several $1,000s less than this $40,000 mark, we will see a pretty catastrophic fallout in MARA and RIOT. And that's not to scare you guys, okay? But it is a pretty healthy part of this cycle, guys. There are ups and there are downs, and clearly there is really no down here. So it is coming, okay? Be patient. I did think that huge pullback would be today, and I did initially anticipate that pullback to be boom, down here, down to this line, this 1360. And a lot of people ask me, a lot of my friends ask me, like, hey, dude, you're crazy. It's never going to pull back to this line. And they're like, are you even sure? And I told them, hey, look, if MARA can literally start at, okay, let's call it $11 and jump to $24 in the span of 2 days, almost 2xing in the span of 2 days. So it can come down just as hard, just as fast, okay? So don't be surprised if it does happen, okay? Now, personally, I don't want to see it fall that low, okay? And as long as Bitcoin doesn't fall too much, I don't think we are going to see that significant of a price reversal. I do think what is more likely is that we are going to come probably down to this level, maybe use this line as a line of support eventually, and continue bouncing off and make our way up. Now, guys, I'm not a MARA bear or a RIOT bear or a Bitcoin bear, okay? I am very, very bullish on all three of these stocks. Just as much as you guys, I want to see $100 MARA like tomorrow. When that time comes, it will come. And right now, I do believe it's pullback time, short term, and then we'll see more of a bounce back. So, guys, again, it's in times like this when you guys see crazy price action like this. It's really just your ability to stay rational. Are you staying rational, or are you giving in to the hype and the greed? And it's human tendency. It's human tendency to be greedy. And so when we see this insane hype, we want to be a part of it. We want to be a part of making money. And so we hold, and then eventually when we see a big reversal, we actually end up losing everything. So it's very important to stay rational in times like this and implement some sort of profit-taking strategy on the way up. And then we have to also remember to buy back in on the way back down. And like I said, guys, I don't always call the tops perfectly. I don't always call the bottoms perfectly, but that's the whole point of trading. Okay, you can't always call the bottoms and tops, and that's what weeds out the greedy people, right? If you want to really get in at the top and really get in at the bottom, you are going to be waiting for the last minute. You're probably not going to be making as much money as someone who has a solid game plan, a solid price target to buy in at, to exit at. Again, guys, just to sum it up, stay rational. Just stay rational, especially in a market like this, guys. This is steeper. This is steeper than a ladder, guys. Nothing in my mind justifies this type of price action, okay? So just keep that in mind, guys. This is a very short-term bubble that will pop when RIOT or Bitcoin, I should say, has its pullback. So again, I'm not too sure if this is Bitcoin's big pullback, or if it's just like a very small short-term pullback. We are looking at the 1 hour chart, by the way. I do like looking at the 4 hour chart, but just to have a little bit more data, just to look at a few more candles, we are looking at the 1 hour chart. Now, I do want to show you guys my portfolio, guys. I did, or at least RIOT and MARA, and just to prove that I'm not BSing these numbers, guys. I'm not BSing these lines. I do stick to what I just said. I do try to stay rational as possible as I can when I do see these crazy, insane FOMO stocks. It's pretty hard to stay rational, right? Because you really want to get out at the top, right? But you don't really know where that is. Okay, so just to preface the screen recording, I did take this earlier on today, and I didn't necessarily get out fully at the top, but I was taking profits along the way. Now, I wish I'd recorded myself actually closing some of my positions, but I didn't. So I did get a recording of what was left of it, and roughly I would say I sold probably close to a little under half, I would say, of my RIOT position, because RIOT, I'm a little bit more confident in that not being as big of a bubble, and we won't probably see as big of a pullback in RIOT as we will see with MARA. Okay, but MARA, I definitely sold way over, I would say, 30%, or sorry, 50% of my position. So that being said, guys, I'm not going to get into how I took profits. I did have options, I did have shares, but I will say one thing: I took profits without selling any shares. I really don't want to get into that, guys. But if you guys do want to see how I take profits in a later video, it is pretty strategic in itself. And I don't think, as far as I know, I haven't really ever heard anyone talking about this. And I'm not saying it's the best way to take profits. And honestly, I'm not going to talk about it too much. I don't want to hype it up too much, but if you guys can just guess on how I take profits just by looking at this recording, guys, props to you guys. Comment down below and let me know. I'll be super stoked to see if you guys know that, and then I will make a video about it eventually, guys, covering exactly how I take profits. It is a little unique. It is a little, it's a little weird. So I do use this, I do use this strategy combined with my price targets to make an entry and an exit. So today was mainly exiting, and I will be looking for my re-entry, guys. So obviously, I don't always make the most, in terms of like how much I could have potentially made, and I don't always get at the bottom, right? But again, like I said, guys, it's all about staying rational, sticking to your game plan, trusting your gut instinct and what you believe, what you look at in the charts, what is rational to you guys. So with that said, guys, I do want to close this video out just by once again just reiterating my price targets that I did set in the last video. Before I even say any price targets, I do want to make one thing clear, okay? If Bitcoin, for whatever reason, continues ripping tomorrow and for whatever reason hits 45K, let's just call it right now, 45K, okay? RIOT and MARA probably won't see a pullback or see the pullback that we're looking for, okay? And so me personally, I'm going to keep taking profits. I'm going to keep taking a little bit off my position every time, okay? And so in the event that it does rip to 45,000, which again, so unlikely, guys, to see, it would be amazing to see. It's just not justified, guys. This is so bubbly, and I really am expecting a pullback. So with that said, guys, I do want to just go ahead and reiterate my price targets for MARA and RIOT. For MARA, okay, obviously this is pretty extreme, I would say. This 1365 historical line of support right here, and just to show you guys where these lines are actually coming from. This short-term line right here, I would say is a pretty good buying point if it does end up pulling back to this line, because it did serve as a high that it set at its initial rally upwards on the 28th of December. So at the very least, I do expect to see a pullback to at least 1633 before I even consider adding onto my position. And I do want to say this, guys, whenever it does have its significant pullback, I'll say it right now, and I'll show you guys, but I'm literally gonna like triple down on my MARA position. I'm gonna maybe even quadruple down. We'll see. I mean, the further it pulls back, there's some more I'm gonna add on. Okay, I do like scooping up a bunch on those fat discounts, guys. Trust me, I've done this so many times and it's always paid off. Okay, the reason I'm scooping so many shares up, guys, and I'm taking such a big position on it is because I'm so fundamentally bullish on Bitcoin and MARA and RIOT. And when you're so convinced on any particular stock, and I've been trading this, guys, if you go back and actually look at the screen recording, you'll see that my average cost is at almost a 358 for RIOT. And that's pretty significant. So I've been trading the stock for a while, and I managed to keep my average cost pretty low because I actually had so many call options for a very low strike price expiring really far out in the year. So it did benefit for me to have those, okay, and it did play out to my advantage, and it's definitely playing out perfectly right now. And guys, it's all about just setting up your place. So after holding on to MARA and RIOT for at least a couple of months, it's finally paying off right now. So this isn't just I scooped this up last week. I've been trading RIOT and MARA for quite a while now. So don't just think I just walked on here, I skipped on in and just picked up a bunch and just profited a whole bunch. No, it wasn't that. It was an accumulation of holding shares, holding calls, and waiting for this exact moment. And you know what, guys, I really do think that this is still, I said it at $9. I'll say it at $23. It's still a pretty cheap buy for the long term. Okay. I did final price predictions for MARA. Actually, let's take a look at this right now. Boom. This is my first big price goal right here, this $40 mark. And in a separate video, I will show you exactly where these lines actually come from. But for right now, just know that, this is up here, and then another one right above it at $52 almost. So we are still a long ways off, and we will still see somewhat of a pullback before we actually continue upward. But just judging from today's price action, guys, it does seem very, very possible, guys, that we could very well rip to $50, $100 even. So guys, keep that in mind. Lastly, I do want to go over Riot really quickly. Haven't gave that much attention. So for Riot, Riot has definitely, I would say, seen more of a consistent growth. That's not to say that this is not also a bubble, and there's a lot of FOMO and hype going on around it. But I do think that it won't pull back as far as MARA did. So for Riot, I personally do think it will come down back to this high that it set on the 4th of January. So not that big of a pullback, maybe like a 20-30% pullback, and I will probably buy in around $19, maybe even less if we do see more of a pullback. I will be pretty surprised if it comes down here to this $13 region. I don't think that will happen. I think the most it will come down to is probably this maybe 16, maybe 18. Okay, so anywhere in between this region, and I know it's a pretty big region, pretty broad region, but I will be doubling down on my position for Riot in this region. Okay, and if we see more of a pullback, we're gonna add more. So keep that in mind, guys. Stay rational, and as always, guys, best of luck in trading. Hopefully you guys are implementing more of a strategy than just trying to use sheer luck. And with that said, guys, take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.